Coach's Corner segment with Coach Adam Fossett, the head football coach and athletic director at B.B. Comer, brought to you by the B.B. Comer Alumni Association. It was senior night last Friday night at the stadium, and B.B. Comer, with Isabella coming in, averaging 50 points a game, your defense played pretty darn well.
Yeah, defensively we played real well, making some big stops, especially early. Making some stops and getting us in some good field position situations. So able to go up 13-0 pretty early, and then that set the tone for the rest of the game.
Big plays were a big part of the game too.
Yeah, made some big plays, made some big stops. Being able to stop those guys on the edge, quarterback and the tailback were real tough kids. So physically tough, mentally tough. They played. They played the entire game and never quit. So, hats off to them. But defensively, man, we were getting to the ball. We were getting 11 hats to the ball, and that's what we had talked about all week was we've got to get everybody to the ball. We got to have a lot of people on the tackle. So,
and there's several times, Coach, I noticed that it was one-on-one, and the defense of B.B. Comer had the player in place and made that stop themselves, and doing a good job with that.
Yeah, definitely. We had, their leading receiver didn't have a catch all night, so we were able to lock him down pretty well. Run support, you look at James Carmichael, his run support coming up and making tackles on the run. He does a great job of that. He's gotten that's one thing he's gotten so much better at this year that has elevated his game, is coming up and making those tackles. When he sees run, he's screaming up and getting stops, sometimes at or behind the line of scrimmage for us.
Offensively, 52 points put on the board. Big running plays were a key part of that too.
Yeah, we had seen some stuff on film that we saw that would benefit us. Devin had a check to that. He made that check on numerous occasions, two of which he took the ball to the house. So. And then we have a unique situation in our backfield with three guys that can really run the ball, and that helps us out a ton. Kamor was an all-state guy last year, rushed for over 1,000 yards, had a ton of touchdowns, and this year early in the season suffers an injury and has to get back rolling again. Well, as he was getting healthy, we were able to plug in Raylon Sims, able to plug in Tristan Garrett. So now Kamor's healthy, Ray's healthy, Tristan's healthy. We have a 1-2-3 punch there that is pretty lethal. So.
And once they hit that seam in the secondary, it's hard to catch them.
Yeah. Once they get past second gear, it's hard to catch them. And one thing that goes unnoticed with our guys is blocking on the perimeter. Ray and James, Richard Weed, all those guys do a great job blocking on the perimeter. Jai Gaddis, they do a great job blocking in space, and they've taken pride in it. And it's one of those things where it's that drill that you hate in practice. That hey, receivers, you're gonna go down and stop block, and they're like, golly, and then it pays off in a game. So. We remind them of that, that it does pay off. And I'm starting to see a group of guys that are very unselfish, a group of guys that, they don't care who's getting the ball or who's scoring. They just want to score.
Yeah.
And who gets the accolades and things like that. So, I hope that we're just we're snowballing into becoming better and better and better as we
52-21, B.B. Comer over Isabella, and it was the first. Both teams come into the region game unbeaten, and a lot of people thought it was going to be a much closer game than it actually turned out to be. There are a couple of times there and you've harped on this a lot. You lose discipline sometimes. You kind of get out there and your emotions take over, and it costs you several times.
No doubt, it did cost us a couple times. Just holding all that in, like understanding that like this is a contact sport. So like you actually can hit them the next play. You don't have to hit them after the play.
That normally doesn't work.
Yeah, it normally doesn't work, and it's always the second person always gets called and things like that. So I call them stupid penalties. just stupid penalties on our part to not keep our head. And in critical games, that can hurt you. So we make a point to emphasize that on Mondays and Tuesdays and Wednesdays of the following week with those individuals. But it's something that's got to, like, again, we've got to get better at that week in and week out. We've got to be more disciplined and have more self-discipline to just, let it go.
And it was the final senior night for a group of seniors that have stayed the course for the Tigers.
Yeah, no doubt. Those 6 guys are a special group. They've kind of been in some downs and ups over the seasons. This group and the next group are the ones that probably know less about the downs than they do the ups. But this group has checked off a lot of boxes. They've checked off the make the playoffs box and the go to the second round, go to the third round, win 10 games in a season. So they've checked all those boxes off. The one thing that they haven't checked off, and the one thing that they are going to be able to do, hopefully be able to do, that other teams haven't been able to do in the past 5 years, is win a region championship. And that's special. I think that's special for our program. I think it's special for the community, for our fans. Just knowing that, hey, we have a chance to win a region championship for the first time since 1995. That says a lot about the guys, says a lot about their resiliency, and I think it's one of those. It's one of those things that I tell them. At the 10-year reunion, you can talk about winning the region. You can talk about
27 years is a long time, isn't it?
Yeah, you can talk about how it was 27 years, and none of the kids on my roster were born. Obviously, the last time we won a region, and I have coaches on staff that weren't born last time we won a region. So when you put it into perspective, that is a long time. One of my kids was like, because we were talking about, one of my kids said, "You were alive last time we won a region." I said, "I was. I was alive. I was in high school, but I was alive."
All right, you got Thorsby Friday night, another region matchup, and Thorsby with only one region loss. They're a pretty good football team.
Yeah, Thorsby's 5-1. Their one loss is to Isabella. That was early in the season. They do a good job throwing the ball around. They have a quarterback and running back that can do some stuff. Big up front. They've got a lot of size. Big on both sides of the ball. Offensively, we're going to have to move those guys out of the way. On defense, they throw everything at you. I mean, they throw the kitchen sink at you. So they'll put 9 in the box and bring 7. They do some crazy stuff defensively, and it's stuff that we've tried to simulate in practice, but again, because it's not our stuff, it's hard to simulate what they do. So communication up front is going to be key. Devin's going to have to be sharp and know his checks, and the receivers are going to have to be sharp and know what's going on. We're going to have to pick up an extra blocker from the backfield on any pass plays to help us out. But it's a road game, it's a region game. It's my saying is it's the most important game of the season because it's the next one.
Yeah.
So go on the road and see what happens.
Obviously, the O-line and D-line are critical to the success of BB Comer, and at times this year they've struggled a little bit on the offensive line for sure, but they seem to play much better this past Friday night. Yeah,
we've been putting some miles on the sled, so I think the more miles we put on that 5-man sled, the better off we'll be. So they've just become accustomed to it. Now we were a 1-day-a-week sled team. Now we're a 3-days-a-week sled team, and just understanding the importance of it, understanding the importance of staying on blocks. Film is a wonderful thing because you can take that game film and you can pause it and you can show them what they're not doing right, and show them hey, you're standing here and the play's still going on and stuff like that. So in a new day and age, I've been a lineman all my life, and that's all I knew. In a new day and age of rewards and accolades and pats on the backs and stats and things like that, being a lineman is not a glorious gig by any means. So those guys have to understand their role, and I think they're understanding it a lot better. and you know, like, games are won and lost in the trenches, and that'll never change. So we have to continue to get better, and we have to understand more positions. That's something I've done this week. Is I took our at practice yesterday. I took our starting line, and during team, I just started moving them around. You know, obviously you gotta have somebody that can snap at center. I moved a couple guys to center that I know can snap, but you know, I moved my guards to tackles. I moved tackles to guards. You know, one of my guys was like, I've never done this. I'm like, yeah, but you may have to. So just trying to plan ahead, trying to think about all the things that my experiences as a coach of stuff that once you get to the playoffs, you're like, man, I wish I would have done this before, so we'd be ready. So again, trying to learn every day as a coach and prepare this team to be the best team that they can be.
B.B. Comer remains unbeaten in the region. 2 losses on the season to undefeated top 10 ranked Dadeville, and then you got a Sachs team that's in the hunt as well. So that's pretty high cotton for B.B. Comer to get a lot of experience for as we head closer to the playoffs.
Yeah, and you know, that was done by design. Obviously, you know, I didn't realize Dadeville was going to be as good as they were. I knew they were going to be pretty good. But you wanted to play some tough competition, and that's what we did. We set out to do that, and that's twofold. One is because we had so much success the past couple seasons, nobody wants to play you.
Yeah.
So you know you're limited on who you can play. Montgomery Catholic called again. I wasn't going back down there, so you know, talked to Coach McDonald at Dadeville, Coach Miller at Sachs, and that was the best fit for us. So, but playing quality opponents, playing some opponents that you know, Sachs does a few different things than what we normally see. So, you know, my ultimate goal is to prepare us. Well, when the season starts, your mindset is playoffs. Your mindset is setting us up for the best situation possible. So. You kind of see how your region schedule lays out, and then you set up your non-region games. But I definitely wanted some tougher non-region games. You know, if we finish the season 8-2, and those are our only 2 losses, not that a loss is acceptable, but those are our only 2 losses. That's a good season for us.
No doubt about it. B.B. Comer on the road to Thorsby, a region game tomorrow night, kick at 7 o'clock. Coach, thanks for being with us, and good luck tomorrow night.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Coach Adam Fossett, the head football coach and athletic director of the B.B. Comer Tigers. Coach Adam Fossett Show brought to you by the B.B. Comer Alumni Association. More Daybreak just ahead.